Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. I'm here to share with you my February Kiwi Club samples. It was a really fun kit for me, a little different because it was so pink and I don't have a lot of girls, so it was kind of, I had to dig a little deep for some of my pictures, but it was such a beautiful kit to work with. I've seen a lot of you out there making your samples and posting them, and you've been inspiring me all month with all of the things that you guys have been doing with it as well. So I'm excited to give you a closer look at what I did. I know a lot of you have already seen it, but if you have any questions about my process or things that I did, then feel free to drop a comment and I'll answer those at the end of the video. So let's go ahead and get going. I'm gonna go ahead and flip my camera so that you guys can see everything. There we go. So the first layout that I'm gonna give you a closer look at is this layout that I made. It's a layout of some pictures from my niece's funeral. So I've held on to these pictures for a really long time because I don't know, they're kind of a special memory, and I was waiting for just the right paper, I guess, to use it, and this really fit the bill. This is my sister Amber here, and myself quite a few years ago. This is my daughter Clara. She's 19 now, so I've held on to these pictures for a very, very long time. But my sweet little niece, Hope, she passed away unexpectedly years back, and my sister, she was pregnant with her son Israel at this time. This was kind of a special moment because my daughter, she was kind of well, she's still a fiery redhead, but she was a really fiery redhead at the time, and she was really, really standoffish with people. She didn't really want to get close to anybody that wasn't mom and dad. And in fact, she was even withholding kisses from mom and dad at this point of her life. She was, 7 months old here, 7 or 8 months. And one of the sweetest moments of this memory is that I think she just knew my sister needed some love and cuddles, because she got really, really cuddly with Amber, and she gave her first kisses away to my sweet sister, who needed some comfort at this moment. So sorry, totally getting emotional. Anyway, so that's kind of the story of these pictures. They're not the best, you know, back when cameras didn't always do the best job. They're a little faded and funny, but I love the memory. I love that my sweet daughter gave my sister that special moment at this funeral and made it a little bit easier of a day. Okay, sob story over. Now we'll talk about what I did on the layout. So I didn't pull all my pieces out, but you guys might recognize some of these pieces from past Kiwi Clubs. But I pulled out a few pieces that I thought just kind of set the tone. And I just let this be really flowery and pretty and soft. And so here's a little closer look. So a few things that I did is I pulled out a little vellum for this layout. You'll see it on actually probably all my samples. I haven't pulled out vellum for a really long time, but I really thought it was fitting for this. So I pulled that out and I used it for some of the pieces. You'll see right down in here I did a little bit of crimping. I don't know if you guys have any of these. They're kind of old school, I guess, at this point, but I love the crimpers. They're pretty fun. They add such a nice little texture sometimes when you really want a little extra something on there. And then to hide, like, I put down my vellum with glue dots because sometimes it's kind of hard to get the stuff to stick. So I just added a solid center over the top wherever I was putting some vellum, just to make sure that I could hide that glue dot. Get a little closer look here. So you'll notice I did a little bit of pen work. I used this Jelly Roll number 10 on that just to add a little bit of decoration to it. And I went ahead and I popped the layers, if you can see that, with just some pop tape. This is stuff that I use. It's easy and you can make it any size you want, which is nice. Added a little gold glitter to my butterfly, but just kind of a sweet, simple layout. Now, I've really enjoyed, like I said, seeing your samples. I'm loving seeing what everybody's doing with this new Garden Frills border set. This one was a fun one to create, and I love seeing it in person with all the different designs that you guys are coming up with. Again, I put some vellum flowers, little pen work, some glitter, and right here you can see that I also did some swirled flowers. And I'm assuming most of you guys know how to do this, but just as a quick refresher in case you've never done it before. So you can take any flower or shape that you want, and you just cut it out, and then you cut a swirl into it. Just freehand it with your scissors. I usually go in and ink everything just to make sure when I swirl it, my petals will pop. And then starting from the inside, you kind of, try to get a little closer there, you kind of just swirl it around, and then you adhere it. I use a glue dot. You can use glue or whatever you want, and then you can put a little center in the middle if you want. It's a fun way to add a little bit of dimension. That's really simple, easy to do. Okay, so that's kind of some of the simple things. Now, I saw a recent person asking about ink on our Play to Create, and I just wanted to let everybody know that this is my favorite ink. I love it. I've been using it for years and years and years, and it goes on absolutely everything that I make. It is always the perfect color. So if you're looking for an ink or my favorite pair of scissors, then that's my go-tos for tools. I love them. So this layout right here, I was really thankful I had some more girly pictures. Sorry, I'm trying to get it up high enough you guys can see without being too shaky. So this is a layout of a very dear family friend, Marcella. She had just returned home from her mission, and my daughter Claire and I went to pick her up at the airport. This was this past year during COVID, so they wouldn't really allow a lot of people in there. So the rest of the family waited outside of her house with some welcome home signs to greet her when she came back. So this is kind of another really special memory. We love Marcella. She is a wonderful, wonderful part of our lives. I don't know that I showed this in my samples for the Kiwi Club, so I did add another hidden picture. It's such a simple way to add more, and I just take too many pictures. So very often I throw in those little hidden pictures into my layouts. So here's a closer look at the border. This one I went a little further with the decoration, and I pulled in some different pieces. Some of you might recognize, we've got some of the simple flowers here. These are from the design kit for the snap frames that I paired up just for extra layers. And I really think it's fun the way that came together. And you'll notice that I did add quite a bit of glitter to this side. I guess I'm just really on a stickles kick lately. I rediscovered it in December, and now they're my thing. So I use the gold stickles on all of these samples just to add a little more. Okay, I see a comment, Deborah Johnson, you're asking about the hidden pictures. So if you haven't done this before, all you've got to do is you cut a strip of paper and you fold it in half, and you adhere the first half to the back of this photo here, so that's like coming down under here, and then you adhere this side up the other photo, and it allows you just a really simple way to hinge a picture. I see Shirley's asking about a hint for the March kit. All I'm gonna say is you'll really want this one. I kind of went a little crazy making my samples for it because I wanted to use every little bit of it. It was so perfect. So I would say if you're not part of the club, this is a great month to join because it's a really darling kit and you're gonna love it. So here's another closer look at this side. I went ahead and did the swirl flower again here. So you can see I used one of those little dots in the middle, just to kind of, I don't know, I like a little dimension. I actually don't use much outside of paper on my layouts, but a little glitter, little dots here and there. The fun thing too about the stickles, adding this to it, I don't know if you can see, but when it dried, it kind of like curls the edges of the vellum. And so you get this really fun kind of dimension. I'm gonna kind of let you guys see this just a little bit better. Hopefully I'm not going too quick. But see how it kind of curls up the edges and kind of pops it a little bit? So that's kind of fun on the vellum. It doesn't do that to paper. So that's kind of a fun little way to have that go. So that is that layout. And my final sample that I worked on with this one was just a one-pager. I had some leftovers, and so I thought I would do a one-pager. These pictures are from last year. It was my husband's and I, was our, let's see, 21st anniversary last year. And it was COVID. This is March of last year. COVID had just hit and everything was shut down and we couldn't really do anything away. So my husband was really sweet. He's quite the romantic, actually. And he went and picked up some takeaway dinner and took me out to the edge of the river, and we had us a little river picnic at sunset, which is kind of really sweet. And it's pretty simple. I did add like a little circle here of vellum, and just so you know, that's what the circle in this Garden Frills 4 is for, is to make that center. So I use that center even on these flowers to create the center for the flowers. And then added a little bit of Stickles glitter. So pretty simple. Yeah. So my samples, not anything too crazy, but I did have a lot of fun with it. Like I said, I don't get to do girly things very often. I only have one daughter, and she's getting older, and so it's harder to find these kind of pictures that will work so well for the really feminine stuff. So I feel like I was pretty lucky. Okay, well, I'm gonna flip back around and we'll look at everybody's comments and I can answer some questions y'all might have. Okay, let me pull open my laptop really quick and let's see what's going on here. I really am glad you all joined me today. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I answered Deborah's question about the hidden picture. I agree with you, Alice. It's not possible to take too many pictures, at least not at my house. I'll probably be scrapbooking till I'm 80 just to catch up, but pictures are the best way to keep your memories, so I don't regret it at all. Let's see. How did I make the flower with the epoxy? I'm not sure, is that the one? I'm hoping that's maybe you're asking about the one with the epoxy dot in the middle. Just as a recap, if you can go back and look at this too, but you just cut out whatever shape you want. Usually a little bit simpler is better. You cut a swirl in it, so it's all swirled like that. And then you just, starting with the inside, you just start twisting your flower into like a little twisted shape, like that. And it'll create, sorry, I don't think it's focusing very well. But it'll create the flower, and then I just put an epoxy dot on the inside. But it's a fun way to make a little dimensional thing. Okay, and then I'll explain, Gail, I'll explain the photo again here in just a second. Let's see. What brand of crimper do you use? Now I have a couple different ones. I think my other ones are red, and I want to say they're EK Success. This one I bought at a yard sale. So it is the Corrugator Paper Crimper by Marvy. So I don't know if this is even a brand that's still a thing, but I know you can still get these. I don't want to say EK Success is the other one. I have some other different shapes that I have for crimpers. So, but that one I picked up at a yard sale for like $1 or something. So it was really nice, and I keep using that. Let's see. So, Gail, let me grab my layout and I'll show you that hidden picture thing again. So, the easiest way that I have found, I've tried this a couple different ways, but this one keeps it nice and flat. All you have to do for a hidden picture is you're going to cut a strip. It doesn't even have to be this long. I just happen to have a piece that long left, so I just cut it in half. But you can just cut a little strip, you fold it in half, and you put half under the first picture on the back side, and then the other half adheres to the top photo back side, just so it can create a little hinge for you. So really, really easy way to add extra pictures to your layout. And you know, I find that I do this on a lot of my layouts lately, just because I do take lots and lots of pictures, but that's not a bad thing. Okay, let's see if there's any other questions we've got going on. Thanks for all the nice comments, by the way. You guys are really sweet. It's a funny story, since you're saying that my layouts are really pretty. I was showing my son, he called me the other night to have me show some baby pictures of him to someone, and so I'm like, well, yeah, I'll go get out my old scrapbooks, right? And I pull out my old scrapbooks to start showing him pictures, and he hasn't looked at them for a while. And I'm like, look how cute you are. And I was like, man, these are kind of my old and ugly books, really, because he was my first kid, so he kind of got the starter scrapbooker in me, which, you know, it's good to see the progression as you go along. But it was funny because he's like, man, Mom, you've really gotten better at scrapbooking. And I'm like, that's a good thing, because my old stuff's pretty interesting sometimes to look at. Back in the day when you like cut all the people out, and you know, you guys know what I'm talking about. But it was kind of funny. So it is nice to have progressed so far from the days when I was super slow and not very good. But with these Kiwi Lane products, anybody can do it. That's what's so great about them. I love it. Well, Cheryl Walker, you said you've already done pages. I hope you're posting. You might be one of the ones that I've seen, but I've seen some really cute things coming out. So make sure you share if you haven't already. It's a really fun kit. I really love the little frill borders. It adds a really cool touch to layouts. Okay, well, I don't think I see any other questions. Just some really nice ladies. I'm grateful you jumped on here with me so we could look at those together. If you have any other questions, feel free to add them, and I'll try to jump in later and answer any other ones that come up. Yes, Julie, my kids do appreciate it. They love the scrapbooks, and they frequently pull them out and just reminisce. It's one of the best things. My youngest son, we were on a trip once, because we like to take road trips, and he made a comment about how pictures were our souvenirs, and I was like, that is the perfect way to do it. It's the souvenirs of life, showing all those special moments, and lets you jump back to that moment, which is pretty awesome. That's why we scrapbook. It's pretty wonderful. Okay, well, I'm gonna let you guys go, but if you haven't signed up for Kiwi Club, you really might want to think about it, because next kit is really cute. I just finished all my samples recently for them, and it's beautiful. The colors are really nice. I think you guys will really love it. So feel free, and if you want to see any of these samples in further detail, or they're also in our monthly PDF. So enjoy the rest of your month, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.